Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I haven't been able to put out a video in a while. I've been busy and it's really hard to put out a video with an almost 18 month old. She doesn't nap very well, and if she is napping it would be hard to record anyway, unless I recorded like in the downstairs area or something, which I guess you could do, but I had it on my mind today, so I thought I'm gonna go ahead and do the video. And I'm doing it in the car, obviously. I'm not looking straight at the camera for obvious reasons, because I am driving, and the kids are in the back seat. We just went to Target, and I just really want to put out a video, so I'm doing kind of an informal one. I am talking, you're right. What's up? So I'm gonna do the birth story of my first child, Jackson. He's 6 years old. His birthday is July 26th, 2012. I had a really normal pregnancy with him, and it was a really easy pregnancy. I was barely nauseous at all. I threw up like maybe once, twice, and that's just like after I had brushed my teeth around like week 8. I only gained 9 pounds with him, and I ate whatever I wanted. I tried to make healthy choices, but I ate whatever I wanted. And so my last appointment before he was born was at 39 weeks, and I went in and the doctor checked my cervix, and it was completely closed and high and not soft at all. So I wasn't close to labor at that point. I had an ultrasound done at, damn, that almost made a hole in my window. That pissed me off. Sorry. So I went for an ultrasound, just like a growth ultrasound, at 39 weeks and 5 days, and they were measuring him to be about 7.5 pounds. So the day after that, 39 weeks, 6 days, the day before my due date, I woke up about 5 in the morning to go to the bathroom, and my water was trickling. It was leaking, but I could tell that it was a leak. It wasn't pee. I was actually leaking. So I let my husband know, and he, had let his boss know he wasn't going to be into work for a few days, if not longer. Yeah, we're going over the river. So I waited around a little while just to see if my water would break all the way, or if I would start contracting. Oh, and keep in mind, I had not had one Braxton Hicks contraction, nothing, this whole pregnancy. So, not that I noticed, and now looking back, now that I know what a Braxton Hicks contraction feels like, I don't remember having any. So that happened at 5 in the morning. We waited around the house till about noon, and I'm a nurse, so I know that you need to at least get on some antibiotics if your water's like leaking like that. So we went ahead and went to the hospital and got admitted and everything. So the first thing they did basically was, well, they checked me, and I was still closed. I don't know how I was closed and leaking. I must have been at least a fingertip, but my cervix was not soft still. So they started me on Pitocin, which was stupid, but at the time I had never been pregnant before. I had never had a birth, so I didn't know. I just thought that whatever, let's do this, So they started Pitocin, and they started the Pitocin like noon, 12:30, something like that. So they kept increasing it in the increments they do, and I got to like a 2, something like that, by the end of the day. The first day natural as possible as a birth. And I had a birth plan and everything. So, but I was open. Like, I knew there'd be a possibility of everything. Like, you can't plan something like that. So, I mean, I knew that it might not go the way I wanted, but I had a plan, you know, that they could follow as close as possible. So, like I said, it was 8 or 9 at night. You know, and honestly, getting to a 2 really isn't that bad in the time, like in 8 hours or whatever. But I guess I'm assuming my cervix was still really soft, or really hard, not soft at all, because they decided to turn off the Pitocin and do the Cervidil overnight to soften my cervix, and then break my water in the morning, and then start again, because I hadn't eaten all day. I didn't even eat before I went in, so I was really hungry, really starving to death, and so that's what they decided what was best for me. So it was funny. My doctor prescribed me an Ambien to get good rest before they started again, and I'm like, really? Did you really think I was going to take the Ambien? He's like, yeah, I know. I don't even know why I even thought of prescribing that to you, because I just don't take pills like that. I just don't take anything unless I absolutely have to. Anyway, so they did the Cervidil. The next morning, they started over. I was still at a 2, and so basically I was on the Pitocin all day, from the crack of dawn on, and about noon that day, that's when my contractions started getting really, really bad, like unbearable. 10 out of 10 pain, ripped me open, back labor plus regular contractions. So I'm making a turn, so just a second. So anyway, I still labored. I labored through, and so they checked me around 5, and I was at a 4, and I had already known I was a 4. So they must have checked me earlier in the day. I knew I was a 4. So I still was only at a 4, and my doctor was like, well, I'm going to make a suggestion. You might not like it, but I think you should get an epidural. It's going to help you relax, and it might help you dilate the rest of the way, you know. So I did. I got the epidural, which I didn't want to do, but it was heaven, you know. At the time, I was glad I got it and everything. But then you're restricted. You know, you can't stand, you can't squat, you can't sit on a ball. You're restricted to the bed. So by 9, I was still at a 4. I hadn't made any progress whatsoever. Actually, I think either the nurse or the doctor had put me at a 3. So I don't know if I had backtracked or if one of them had just had a different opinion on their fingers size or whatever. It was probably different. So at that point, my doctor was like, okay, so here's what I'm thinking. Your baby's heart rate is good. He's still fine in there. But I'm letting you know right now, you're going to end up with the C-section. You know, he's like, you're not progressing. I don't know why, but you know, your baby, and plus my baby was still high up. He hadn't dropped at all. He was still at -3 or +3, whatever way it is, that's the highest up. And so with me not being able to get out of bed and try and maneuver myself to make him drop it, how is it going to happen at that point? So I got the C-section. He was born at 9:37 p.m. and it was wonderful. My C-section wasn't wonderful, but getting him out was wonderful. But by the time that I was talked into the C-section, I was just like, whatever. I didn't want to, but I knew it was hopeless. If the birth would have went differently, it could have happened probably for me. But with every circumstance that was stacked, it wasn't going to happen at that point. So but you know, when I met him, it was fine. It didn't matter anymore because he was here, and that's all that mattered. And it was wonderful, and he was smiley an hour after he was born, and he was perfect. He was not 7.5 pounds. He was 8 pounds, 12 ounces, and 22 inches on his due date. So he was born on his due date, which was only a 5% chance, which is cool. And I really love that he was born on his due date because he was born on July 26th, and I was born on June 20. I mean, not June, that's my daughter. Oh my God. January 26th. So we have each other's half birthdays, which is really cool. And you know, that was just a really cool thing that happened. But anyway, that's the story of Jackson's birth. It didn't go the way I wanted at all, but he's here and he was completely healthy, and that's all that matters, really. And I hope you like this video. Please subscribe, like the video if you liked it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.